doing this.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. When you see someone have a long career and you watch them do as many different things as you do, it's always interesting to see what comes next. Especially if you have a favorite performance. And I'm sure there's ones that you hear a lot, and there's ones that you hear very rarely. And it's always nice, I'm sure, to find out someone likes whatever, because acting, money's good, but also being told you do good it's a nice perk. But for you, what makes it still be fun? Like, what do you find in a new role that makes you go, I want to give it my all? Because you've been doing it a while. There's people who don't give it their all at this point.
Well, I can understand why they don't give it their all.
Yeah.
You can often tell.
Oh, yeah.
That I think I respond to the two things I've always followed are really the director and the material.
Yeah.
And if they're both, you can have a good director and so-so material. You can also have great material and a so-so director.
Yeah.
And when the two come together, that is what gets you going.
Yeah.
And I was not familiar with Mick Herron's writing prior to receiving scripts of Slow Horses, but can you still see me?
Yeah, no, you're good.
No, you disappeared. It's all right. As long as you're still there.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
It was just basically that I thought the material was so fantastic. And, there was a sort of snobbery. There was this sort of thing about TV and film, back in the day, when people would be either a television actor or a film actor.
And never the two shall meet.
Yeah, and people sort of looked down on it and sort of went, well, that's TV, isn't it? Over the last 20 years, I guess 15 years, I've seen best writing, best acting, best directing, best cinematography. I've just been a fan of long form and limited series for so long, and thought, like you do, it'd be quite nice wouldn't it be really nice to be in something like a show where you can, where you continue to play the character in different situations rather than just this 2-hour window. It's almost like you visit this person, and then they're gone.
And especially someone like you, I would imagine, who gives it, you can tell the work is there, and I'm sure it's fun. But one of my favorite performance of yours is in The Contender, and that's I love it. There's just, because I always believe your part. Like, I don't always agree with what your characters do. Often they're murderers, so you're not going to agree with them.
Yeah.
But you always believe them. And I think, like you said, having a 2-hour window to play Shelley Runyon, or having a 2-hour window to play Churchill is great. But here's 6 hours, here's 8 hours, here's 12 hours, here's potentially the next 10 years of your life. You can really go to some fun places with those roles.
Yeah. And it has this creation of not only of all of these characters, but certainly of Mick Herron's creation of Jackson Lamb. There's substance there. It can carry. It can hold that. I feel fortunate that with Slow Horses, it's up to the people upstairs whether we continue on this journey. But there are now, I think, 8 books or 9 books now that he's just come out with a new Slow Horses book. If we were to continue, there is a great deal there. he with each story, it's like an onion with land. You know, he peels away another layer.
Yeah.
So to be in the company of this character for an extended period of time, I think will be a lot of fun. Plus the fact the company is so good.
Yeah.
Not only are they great individually in these roles, but what a bunch of people! What a bunch of lovely people they are.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah. Why spend your time being unhappy? You know, for someone who's, you know, you've got the bona fides, you know, you can, you know, I've made money in the industry. I've got this little gold statue I can show you. Like, I've done these things that check mark that I've done a good job. What else is there besides, like, I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy the people I'm with. I want to do work that I'm happy with. If you can check all those boxes, it feels like you win.
Yeah, and there are things that you're a young man, and if I say to you, you know, priorities and all of that shift.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 64, when you get there,
Yeah.
you do want to. I was just watching last night this new documentary, the HBO of George Carlin.
Oh, I saw it. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I feel I've been on the road a bit like him. You know, you look at that suitcase and you live out of that suitcase, and there does come a time where you want to wake up in your own bed.
Yeah.
You want to be around your family more, the dogs.
Always the dog.
And I think that if there's any longevity with this, it does enable me to, you know, focus and do the work and have I feel like have some of my life back.
Yeah.
Rather than it's I'm either learning one role, learning an accent, doing whatever it is. You know, you know, I've been working for a long time, over 40 years now.
It's yeah, I imagine at a certain point when you have the moment to step back and look, you go, wait, I really did that and that and that. Like, it gets to be a, you know, I'm sure there's memories of everything, but I'm sure there's also times where someone mentions something like, oh shit, yeah, I did make that. I haven't thought about that in 12 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's very much the case. Or someone will quote a line at me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, what's that? And they go, oh, you said that did I?
Like, I said a lot.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. I mean, I look back at I worked on average a 16-hour day on Churchill. And by the time I traveled and by the time I got out of makeup, traveled, decompressed a bit, had a bite to eat, I was asleep coming back in to do it all over again. And there were days when we were doing like 20-hour days. And I think I did something like 54 days in a row of coming in and going through 4 hours 15 of makeup. Ridiculously waking up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning to travel. I look at that now and then have the stamina to then work a 12-hour day playing the part. I look at that now and I am awestruck in just the stamina.
Yeah, because it's...
I can't believe I actually did it.
Yeah, and did it well and didn't, because that's the thing, like, people are quick to think, oh, acting's easy. And like, yeah, I'm sure there are things that are harder to do. Working in the mind is worse, but anything is time. No matter what you do, whether you're an actor or a musician or a writer or a porn star, whatever you're doing, you're spending time doing it. If you're there for 12 hours, that is half of your day, no matter what. And there's time you're not sleeping, there's time you're not eating, you're not spending time with your dog. Like, no matter what you're doing, you could have the best time of your life. At a certain point, you want to be home, you want to be eating, you want to be watching TV, you want to be asleep in your own bed, not a different bed. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think you just, you know, yeah, it's exactly that. And this does afford me to be able to really do the work and focus where I need to focus, and then have a little bit of rest and a little bit of downtime. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I feel very lucky and privileged to be able to find something like this at 64, to find a piece of material like this. Thus far, we've done the 2 books with 2 very, very good directors. I'm happy to play Jackson Lamb.
Yeah.
If something came up, that there's sort of 2 directors on my list, I think, Paul Thomas Anderson, who I haven't worked with, and I think Paolo Sorrentino's pretty.
Oh, yeah. Oh my! I can imagine the 2 of you together.
You know, but there's the wish list has got shorter.
Yeah, because you can be like, no, I've done that. Wouldn't it be great to work with Chris Nolan? Yeah, I've done it. You know, you can just start talking about, I've been there. They're great.
Yeah, and I think I think I was lucky to get. I worked with Oliver Stone when he was firing.
Yeah.
On all cylinders. I mean, just that time in terms of just an experience. Forget the end result, which I think is marvelous, but just the experience of working on that was very, very special.
Oh yeah, and that's what you try to do. And like you said, if you can have a role like this that is checking all those boxes, but is a more comfortable experience while not, lacking creatively for you, why wouldn't you hold on to it like a vice and be like, no, I want to do this. And if you're not Paul Thomas Anderson, we'll talk when I'm not working. But right now, this is pretty good. You're like, people are hanging up. You're like, sorry, Rod Lurie, sorry, Oliver Stone. And it's, they're like, I thought we were friends. No,
we had a yeah. Do you know what? It was funny. Oliver came back to me to do what Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
And I read the script, and I won't name names, but he wanted me to play different. He wanted me to play a part in it.
Yeah.
And I said, I quite fancy the lead.
Yeah.
And he said, I've already got someone for that. I've got Woody Harrelson. And, so that's why I'm coming to you with this role. And I said to him, to be really honest with you, Oliver, I said, I played my cameo on I played my supporting role for you. And I said, I will always look at Woody as the flowers while I'm playing the vase.
Yeah, of course.
And he said, I absolutely respect that. I understand that. Maybe down the line we'll do something together. And he never called again.
Well, it's funny because I interviewed him like 6 months ago, and had I known, I would have been like, what's going on?
He's 6 months ago. Is he still as cantankerous and as sort of, what is he?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to mention something that no one else mentioned, so it kind of set him off in a different way. Because I really like talk radio, which
I love talk radio.
Yeah, but you, me, and 7 people have seen it, so it like sparked him a little bit. It's the same as I think a lot of times if you just mention something that's not The Dark Knight, you're going to respond a little better because you're like, I'm talked out on Batman.
Yeah, there's a little what is it? Years ago, I did with Sean, State of Grace.
Yeah.
And I'm really very proud of the film. And yeah, and when someone mentions it, you go, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you make,
yeah.
because you make an effort. You either really do watch everything I do, or you stumbled upon it. And there's everything starts the same way. Day one of Batman is the same as day one of a tiny indie movie. You all have the same ambitions of like, no one starts the movie going, we're going to make a real piece of crap in the next 8 weeks, and we're all going to take our money and never think of this again. It's not how it works.
Actually, funny you mentioned that. On day one of State of Grace, I got into the wrong car. And the driver started to talk to me about Marlon Brando. And I said, holy fuck. I said, we've got Marlon Brando?
Yeah.
And the thing, I realized I was traveling to is it Matthew Broderick?
The freshman.
And he drove me round the block and dropped me off. And then I got in the State of Grace car.
You're like, oh, well, I think it would have been funnier to
I
show
nearly
up.
worked with Marlon Brando.
Yeah. It would have been funnier to show. I mean, if it had been like the island of Dr. Moreau, no one would have known you were there. You could have just hung out. Just tell your agent at the end, I was in the movie, so you better find some money. Like, I'll take scale, but I was in this movie. But that's the thing. As long as you're having a good time, what else can you ask for? Because you're always gonna be able to find a role. But why do it and not enjoy yourself? Like, there's assuming there's not a gambling issue I don't know about. You've made your money. You've done the things. Like, you've had longevity.
Yeah,
be happy.
There've been, I've said it's very hard to keep your dignity.
Yeah.
As an actor, at some point, you've got to, there have been things I've done where I out of necessity.
Yeah. You trust the material as best you can, or the filmmaker, like you're talking about.
Yeah, and you've got, and you know what, even in that, you get there, and your survival mode kicks in, and you've got to at least you got to give it your best shot.
Yeah. I hope you don't make me look like a fool, no matter what it is. I'm playing Dracula, and I'm going to go blah at one point, and I better hope it doesn't look stupid. And I trust you not to do that because you believe in me doing this. But like you said, like, there are going to be times where it's like, well, this is the best of the lot, and I like eating. Yeah. So,
and you don't get offered. Yeah, and you don't get offered. You don't get offered every role.
No, you get offered what you've already done. Usually, it seems.
Yeah, you do. I got stuck in that for a while. That's
Well, as a way to sort of wrap up, that's what makes this role, I think, so good, is that it has these little aspects of like, I see why they thought of you. And you can think of a Tinker Tailor, or you can think of a number of different roles, but the angle is so different that it's like, well, what if Smiley was just a miserable bastard and didn't care anymore and just would rather have a drink? Like, that's an interesting character, because that sounds more like, somebody's grandfather they recognize, or somebody's uncle, as opposed to like the James Bond of it all, which, if we think about the actual people who are doing this job, way more like the person you're playing than Daniel Craig's playing.
Oh, absolutely. And you don't see many, I love the fact that you see them leaving work and going for a drink in the laundrette, and you don't see spies.
Yeah.
In that,
and they would have slumped shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's an office job. It's working for the government. It's bureaucracy. It's,
That's exactly what they're civil servants.
Yeah, they have occasionally more interesting things to do, but by and large they're working at the DMV. So it's just what you do. But this has been so much fun. Like I said, love you in so many things. Great to ever bring up The Contender. It's one of those things, if I'm ever dating someone, I love the show, and then play the game of, who do you think that guy is? Because they never know it's you.
Right.
And that's
I'm glad. Yeah. Well, you're one of the few.
I aim to please. I wish you that this goes on forever, because you're clearly having a good time, and frankly, you deserve it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for doing this.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Take care.